Hello everyone, I'm Bonita from Pennies to Dollars, and this video today is going to encompass some frugal tips from me, so stick around until the end. But the first 25 tips are going to be tips from our viewers, and these are going to be things that they are starting to do this year to save them extra money. So it's new frugal things that our viewers are starting to do. Some of these have been heard on my channel. Some of these are things that I do myself, and I'm so excited to share these with you today. Because frugal living is so different for every single person, if you can add even little tiny steps or little tiny additions to the things that you're doing that are frugal, you will see a difference over time in your checking account, in your lifestyle, and in your thinking. You will be able to come up with more ideas to save money. They just come to you more easily once you have started doing a few of these small things. So I hope you enjoy this special video today where we talk about what some of our viewers are starting to try this year to save money. This came about because I did a question on my community page and asked people what they were going to try to do, or if what they were doing was working, if they weren't going to try to do anything else. And these are the answers that I got. So I hope you enjoy this video. Hi, I'm Bonita and I am early retired. I'm not old enough yet for Social Security. I'm living on a low income and I am living off of savings. And right now I'm spending the winter in my RV in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. I normally live in Kansas. I have frugal videos all year round, and I hope that you will join me this year in 2025 as we share ways to save money and live our dreams. So, as we listen to these things that our viewers are starting to do going forward in 2025, let's remember to be courteous. We are all on our own frugal journey, and some of these things may be things that you've been doing for a long time, or they may be things that you've been thinking about doing and you just haven't started yet. And it will remind you to, hey, put that on my list of something to do this year. Adding to our frugal bag of tricks is so important. It makes a difference. It not only makes a difference in our checking account balance over time, but it also makes a difference because it increases our creativity to think that way and to come up with more ways to be frugal going forward. The first one is a lot of people are starting to say no to Amazon. They're saying no to the Prime subscriptions. They're realizing that they are just too easily ordering from there or relying on that, and it is costing them extra money. A lot of people are not only just shutting off the Prime, but they are just trying to order less from Amazon. It is hard to find a lot of things in our brick and mortar stores these days. So many people rely on Amazon that it is kind of scary sometimes to pull that plug. But that is one of the things that our viewers are going to do going forward this year. One of the second things is a lot of people are either going to start gardening or expand their garden this year to be able to produce more of their own organic food and more of their own frugal food that they can add to either their pantries or their freezers. The third one is upcycling and selling furniture. Some of our viewers are deciding that they have a knack for this and they enjoy doing it, and this hobby has turned into a moneymaker. The fourth one is some of our viewers have decided to do more cooking while on vacation. This is something that my husband and I do as well. We try to have at least one meal in our little kitchenette when we are vacationing to try to save money on our vacation so we have more money for other things. So cooking on vacation is something that is becoming more and more popular as eating out has gotten so expensive. I have heard lately there's even a up sale price on eggs if you order them for breakfast. some of our viewers have decided to do the staycation type of vacations instead, to enjoy their house that they're already paying for. Maybe enjoy their portable pool in the backyard, or go to some of the local parks or the library, or see some of the things within driving distance to save money on that regular vacation they were used to taking. Number 6 is using what they have. More of our viewers are going through their things, deciding to substitute, omit, or change up some of the things that they've been doing, and using everything they have to the fullest to save money in their household this year. Many of us own so many things and have so much backstock of items, and yet we continue to buy. And this is one of my goals this year as well, is to use what I have before buying more. Number 7 is planning errands to make sure that they can get as many errands as they can into one trip to save time and also save fuel. So this is always a great way to save some money, is to route those errands so that you don't have to backtrack, or you don't have to go on a different day because something isn't open. So that is a great way to save money. Number 8, some of our viewers have decided to start tracking their spending. This is a big one, and it's something that really takes a commitment, because a lot of people don't feel they have the time to track it, or they think they're doing okay because their checking account balance is still in the black. But most of us really don't know how much we're spending in different areas unless we start tracking our spending. This can make a night or day difference in your finances if you can work that into your schedule. Number 9, we have some viewers that have committed to no fast food and no eating out because it costs so much, and they have decided that they can buy a lot more groceries for what they've been spending on 1 or 2 meals. Number 10, some of our viewers have committed to cooking more inexpensive meals. Maybe going meatless once in a while, or using the meat as flavoring, or cutting back on the meat is also a great way. Using a lot of marked down produce, if you can pick that up in the grocery store, anything like that that you can incorporate into your meals can save you a lot of money. And all of our meals don't have to be fancy. They can be inexpensive and still be delicious. Number 11, some of our viewers have decided to give up soda, chocolate, and sugar because they have found that that has saved them a lot of money, and some of their extra money goes in those areas. And that is a huge commitment, and I applaud them for taking that initiative. Number 12, we have some viewers that have decided to try to conserve more of their water to keep their water bill down, because their water is very expensive in their area. That one takes a whole family working together to work towards conserving water, but it can make an immediate difference on your bill. Number 13, we have some viewers that have committed to try to can more foods. That's something that I have started trying to learn over this last year or two. My mother canned foods and was wonderful at it, but she didn't teach me because she was scared of me being near that pressure cooker. And so I have had to start learning some of this on my own. And I am so excited every time I learn to can something. There is an accomplishment, and not only a money saving factor that goes into that, and it helps you have food security. Number 14, we have some viewers that have decided to start shutting off their hot water heater for several hours every day. This is something my husband and I started several years ago when we started making sure everything was unplugged. We have an electric hot water heater that we shut off, and we only turn it on about 30 minutes every other day. That's enough to have enough hot water for what we need. And then also here in the RV, I shared the other day that I shut off my hot water heater when I'm not using it here so that I don't use up my propane. I'm still on the same tank of propane. I've used it all winter long, and I attribute that to shutting off my hot water heater when it is not in use. Number 15, we have a viewer that has started tracking her food waste, and this is a really great idea. It has helped her and reminded her to, hey, use up what you have because look at what you're throwing out. And this has encouraged her to try to reduce that food waste when she tracks it every week. So that is a new idea that I haven't heard anywhere else, is to start tracking your food waste to see how much is really going out the door. Number 16, we have a viewer that has committed to start hanging her clothes on the line, or she has even committed to start hanging them in the house with one of those drying racks like I've shown you that I use here at the camper. Hanging your clothes makes a huge difference. It saves so much money. Dryers are a 220 plug and they use a lot of electricity. So if you can start hanging your clothes, that's another thing you will see an immediate difference on your electric bill. Number 17, we have some viewers who have committed to start staying home on the weekends and actually try relaxing for a change. That is a way for you to save money. A lot of people get in the habit of going somewhere every weekend for entertainment or going somewhere every weekend just for something to do to get out of the house. But many of us forget that we've worked really hard to pay for this house and we're at work all the time and we're hardly ever enjoying it. So staying home on the weekends and reaping the rewards of paying for this house can be a great money saver. Number 18, we have some viewers who have committed to no spend days and no spend months to help get ahead and save and get in the habit of spending less. If you can do this even for a short amount of time, it will change your thinking on how much you buy that is extra, that is not necessary. And no spend months, days, and weeks can really help your budget. Number 19, we have some viewers that are going to start using rebates. And I've shared a lot of those rebate sites that I use myself, including Ibotta, Fetch, Receipt Hog, Receipt Jar, and those are all in the links below in my description box. Number 20, we have some viewers that have started to meal plan. Reverse meal planning is a great way to save money. You check your pantry and your refrigerator, see what you need to use up, check your freezer for any old items, and then plan your menus around using up some of those items that you have on hand and hopefully some of those items that are older that need to be used first. Number 21. We have some viewers that have decided to start taking water with them wherever they go so that they're not tempted to buy drinks. This is something that I shared that I started doing several years ago, and I can't even imagine how much money it has saved me. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I take my little thermos, I fill it up with ice water, and then I am tempted to grab it every time I'm thirsty rather than going to the fridge and grabbing something in there that might be more expensive that is already cold, because I like a cold drink. So I find that if I keep my ice water always ready and cold, then I'm not looking to replace my ice water with something more expensive. Number 22. This is another original one. We have a viewer who has decided to use less condiments because she has seen that the condiments have gotten really expensive. She started substituting mustard for ketchup because ketchup costs more, and she started making a lot of her own salad dressings. That is a great way to save money, because have you seen the price of mayonnaise lately? That is ridiculous. And she has started substituting with some Greek yogurt and doing some other things like that. So that is a really original, great way to save some money. Number 23, we have some viewers that have committed to start cooking more at home rather than grabbing something when they go out. They've committed to start taking their lunches for work instead of buying something on the lunch break. I used to work somewhere where people brought in a coffee every morning and they went out for lunch every day at noon. And I was packing my own lunch, and I can only imagine how quickly that added up. Even if you make a lot of money, that can really cut into your budget, and maybe you could be paying that mortgage down quicker or paying that car payment down quicker. A lot of us don't think about that. We think about how much money we're making and we think we can afford to be doing this. But again, that tracking of the spending lets you know how much money is really being directed that way. And it might just change your mind into spending it a different way and taking your lunch. Number 24, we have some viewers who have decided to thrift shop and buy more things used and refurbished rather than buying everything new. And that can be a great way to save some money. You just have to know your prices really well, maybe even know your brands really well, and keep your eye open for those great deals. Number 25, we have a viewer who shops for gifts all year long to make it easier on herself when it comes to Christmas time. If you have any ideas of what your family might like for Christmas, this is a great way to save some money. I bought a couple of gifts the other day for a couple of grandchildren coming up for Christmas, and it was a good relief to think that I bought a couple of inexpensive items that are already tucked away for a couple of the kids that are harder to buy for. So now I'm going to share with you some of my frugal tips. Some of these you have not heard before and they might surprise you. So again, please listen with an open mind, and if they do not apply to you or it's something you do not want to do, by all means, just skip it. Maybe one of the other ones will apply to you better. The first one is I use two emails. I have one that I give if I'm doing surveys online or doing something where I know I'm going to get bombarded with like junk mail. And that one I rarely look at because it's just full of junk. And then I have another one that I use that is mainly for important stuff. So I know I don't have to check that email, and I know that all that stuff I really don't care about is being thrown into that email, and it's just kind of like my junk email. The second one is I flip off my dryer breaker. And like I said, this is a 220 plug. So it makes a huge difference in your electric bill, even if you're not turning it on and it's plugged in all the time. And I do believe in unplugging things, but climbing behind the dryer would be pretty hard to do. I use my dryer very rarely during the year, just a handful of times or less, depending on if it rains a really long time or snows a really long time. And I just don't turn it on that much. So I have to make sure when I do this, though, that nothing else is on that breaker, because you don't want to like flip that breaker and next thing you know, it shut off your freezer and all your food went bad. For me, I know that my breaker to my dryer only goes to one outdoor plug. Now, that outdoor plug, I have more than one of those, and I have another outdoor plug that is tied into something else, so it's on all the time. So if I'm going to use an outdoor plug, then I just use the one that I know is on all the time, and I just leave that dryer breaker off. That and the electric hot water heater being shut off has saved us a bunch of money. The next tip I have, number 3, is I use my portable charger in my car and I charge it every time I go somewhere. It has 4 dots on this portable charger, and then I can bring that portable charger inside my house or inside my camper, and then I can use that to charge my phone and not have to use any electricity. And it really does work for a really long time. So I think about how many times I am saving from having to charge my phone with electricity just by using the charger in my car and then bringing it in to the RV or bringing it into the house. Number 4, I like to take advantage of that $5 off of $25 at Dollar General on Saturdays when I happen to be in the area. I make sure that I shop their sales ad really well and I take advantage of all of their sales and see if I can build up enough for $25 of things that I need. And then that $5 will come off when I put my phone number in at the counter. And that saves me a bunch of money because I'm already buying things I would already be buying. They're already on sale, and then I get another $5 off. Number 5, I still have an Amazon account, but I share it. I share it with my daughter. That's another way to save yourself some money, is to share an Amazon account if you do have one. Now, I don't shop Amazon during the year. I primarily use it for Christmas. She does shop during the year, but I use it to watch movies on Amazon. So that's something that I do. She also watches movies on Amazon, and I also have a Hulu account. Other than that, we just watch free TV on Roku. But compared to what we used to spend for cable, just having the Amazon account and the Hulu account is less than $25 a month. So I feel like between those two, I can afford to do that, to have a little additions to my free TV. Number 6, I continue to declutter, but when I do it, I go through everything. I don't come to a shoebox of papers and just toss out the papers after I've looked through the top 2. I go through every single thing that I have because you never know when there might be something hidden in there. I had a viewer that found a $50 gift card the other day when she was decluttering. I myself found an $8 gift card when I was going through one of my books that I had with me here in the RV. Because I had a gift card for a place that had gone out of business where I live in Kansas, I had packed it last year to bring down here to see if that business was here. And I happened to find it this year and it is in business. So I got to go out and get something for $8 to use up that gift card because I knew when I got home that I wouldn't be able to use it again. So I go through every little thing that I have to make sure that I'm not missing money in a birthday card or coins that have fallen into something. I have found coins, I have found money when decluttering. Yes, so go through every little thing and you might be surprised what you find. Number 7, this is not one you have heard me talk about, and it's a little controversial maybe for some. But when you get notices in your mail that there's a class action lawsuit, read through those thoroughly. Make sure they are valid. Even Google and check to see. But when I get those, and after I've done my due diligence in checking, if it affects me, then I will fill it out. And it does say on there, you have been identified as someone that was affected by this. This lawsuit is already going to happen whether or not you participate. You have the right to opt out. But when you've already been identified as an affected member of this class action lawsuit, by you filling it out, all it does is divide the money one more way. And I did this when my medical records had been compromised by a physician that I went to through their data stuff. They had somehow been breached, and I got notified that I had been a patient between this date and this date, and I filled it out. Now, sometimes it can be a year or two before you hear anything back because it has to have time to collect all of the members that have been affected by this. But since I've been in the Rio Grande this season, I got an automatic deposit of $313 over that class action lawsuit. And you can bet I was really excited because that was quite a bit of money for me, considering that I am low income and I am early retired and I am not on Social Security. I don't have a pension. So getting that $313 was really exciting. I think a lot of people get these in the mail and they just toss them thinking they look like junk mail, or maybe they think they are a scam. Do your due diligence and research it. But for me, it paid off this winter. So those are my tips for the day. I hope you will give me a thumbs up. I hope you've enjoyed this and maybe there's something in there that you can use this time. And I hope to see you in the next video.